crazy hockey city,
Exactly.
and I think they're only 4 points out of the wild card. That's how bunched up. I think there's like 3 teams that are out of it, like Buffalo and Toronto.
Yeah.
It is great that Babcock's out of it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So we don't dare not trade Zetterberg, right?
No.
If it brought you a piece to win the cup,
No.
Wayne Gretzky got traded.
I hear
Yeah,
that.
I mean, listen, I don't think anybody is untradeable.
Mike Ilitch would never trade him.
No, it
Ilitch is
just
such a
depends
long
on
guy.
who, you know.
He'd have to go to a contender, and we'd have to get a guy back.
Right, well, that's a move you make if you're in the tank, I feel.
Yeah.
And you say, hey, Hank, we love you, baby, and we love what you've done. And, you know, go to Boston, try to win a cup.
Go win a
and then
cup
we'll take the picks that come back.
like Ray Bork, but
right.
You know, something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, no, I would say, I mean, this is a team I think that can win. I think, you know, they've impressed me this year with the lack of goal scoring. So, I think they just need a couple pieces.
Jonathan Quick won it for us a couple times, right? We got Mrazek.
That's right.
Maybe that's all we need.
I tell you what, Peter Mrazek, I mean, Craig Custance from ESPN.com just wrote this great article about if scouts and GMs consider Mrazek elite. And, you know, apparently you got to go, the scouts want to see you face 3,000 shots. He's at right around 1,800. But he could be headed that way. He's got the makings of an elite goalie. I mean, he plays the puck very well. He doesn't let in. He's got a very short memory when he lets in soft goals. So I agree. I mean, Mrazek doesn't seem to be fazed by the bigness of a moment. So
Yeah.
I'm eager to see him.
You got text?
Yeah, we got text in. By the way, you can text us in at 313-888-3538. We got text in. And it was from
Why not just get like what numbers are pizza? Just like text pizza.
I tried.
You didn't get that.
T-Mobile wouldn't let me do
I
that.
tried that.
That's weak. Leave
I
him.
tried, buddy.
This is from SC Final. Good morning, gents. How clutch was Larkin's goal last night? And good to see Zetterberg get net one too. Here's to a Wings and Hawks Stanley Cup final.
Wings and Hawks.
That would be nice.
I don't know.
But right now, you know, the thing that's kind of addressing, guys,
Florida
there might be a
4-0
chance.
yesterday.
There might be a chance that no Canadian teams might get in the playoffs this year. That's a realistic possibility.
Breaks my heart.
Yeah, I mean,
with the Canadian dollar taking a dive too, that's perfect.
No, I mean that's
Yeah, but they won't have no ratings. If that happens, hockey won't. If they don't have ratings now, they won't have.
That's a realistic possibility. I mean, NBC Sports is experiencing some fluctuations, which is the All-Star game coming up. That's a different type of format. I actually like that format. Get the $1 million, the 3-on-3. I know a lot of I don't know who's the one that doesn't like the 3-on-3.
I love it.
Ben did.
Ben was the one.
Ben did not like the 3-on-3.
He and I went back and forth on that one.
But that format, I mean, they're trying to be different as much as possible. I mean, comparatively speaking, you look in what's going on in the NBA right now, the whole Cleveland Cavaliers situation. Gentlemen, that yesterday segue. LeBron pretty much being the GM of the team, and he said there was nothing involved in it and everything. And
kudos to the GM though. I like the way he stood up yesterday. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, the
saw
general
that.
manager. He was stern though. He's like, no, LeBron
I
doesn't
don't
run
like
this team.
one thing that he said, but go ahead. Set
Why?
it up. Well, I'll tell you.
So yesterday, on their day off, Cleveland with the best record in the East, fired David Blatt.
And I had a bet with Bovada prior to the season, 4-1 odds that if he got fired before the season, I would have won some pretty big money. So why did he fire him before the season?
Screwed you.
Yeah, they screwed you.
And Tyrone LaRue takes his place, and right now LaRue would be the coach of the East All-Stars.
Is he the only NBA coach that has a Jerry Curl mullet in history?
No, Hubie Brown had it pretty good. He was in New York with the Knicks.
You know Tyronn Lue had the Jerry Curl mullet.
Oh, Collins had one too.
Yeah.
Collins had one too.
In the 80s with Chicago.
Yeah, Collins had one too. Yeah.
But Jeff, I mean, you all know it's a players' league. It's known that it's a players' league, but this is the second time, and of course LeBron's with his hands up, like I have no idea what's going on. They're the best record in the East. Yes, mind you, they got blown out by Golden State by 40. Golden State came in with the team with the loss of the Pistons, but why? Why is it? Am I missing something? You can't make Kevin Love play better. Am I missing something here with this, or?
What LeBron wants, LeBron gets, man. I mean, I think it's as plain and simple as that, isn't it? I think it's funny that I think it's funny that they're the best team in the East, and they say, all right, we need to change. Blatt, see you, buddy. There you go. There's some money.
And Lou probably ain't going to do one thing with the team.
No.
He's not going to change the rotation, bench, nothing.
No. I mean, why would you? it's like Walton over there in Golden State, and I do believe didn't he lose his head coaching job yesterday too?
Yeah, he did.
Because what's his name is back. Yeah, so
Spot for him.
but like I don't know. I agree with you. I mean, what's gonna change?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Cleveland being in first place right now is an absolute joke, considering how the upper echelon of that organization is run right now. I mean, quite honestly, what the GM said yesterday, he said he's basically said he denied that LeBron had anything to do with the decision to get rid of Blatt, and then he comes out and says that. And then if you look at his words, he says LeBron basically is the organization. He says LeBron's a part of the organization. Then he says LeBron is like, he didn't use the word aura, but that's basically what he was using. Like LeBron is basically, you might as well put LeBron as like the symbol of the Cavaliers on the jersey. From what I took from what he said, I had a big problem with what he said because he flat out lied. He flat out lied. He came out and looked everybody square in the face and said LeBron had absolutely nothing to do with this decision. And he says that he needed to right the ship. You're 32-11, 32-12 now. Right what ship?
Going 2 versus Golden State though.
But that's regular season.
The best thing about this whole situation is, like I said, when he signed back with Cleveland, he ain't going to win no title in Cleveland. He's going to go back there, and they're not going to get a title.
He'll never win.
They end up trading the #1 pick to Minnesota. Who's the guy? Wiggins.
Yeah.
He's playing better than Kevin Love.
Yeah.
Kevin Love, he couldn't stand LeBron last year, and what's he do? He went back for the money.
Well, they had no room for Wiggins once they signed Anderson Varejao to that crazy frickin' what's he getting, like $12 million a season?
They had money for Kevin Love though.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Kevin Love's there for the money. If I were him, I would have been long gone. I mean, he could have got the money anywhere.
Anderson
As long as LeBron James never wins the title in Cleveland, I'll be happy.
Anderson got the I'm friends with
I don't think
LeBron deal.
Well, yeah, the friends. He signed that deal before the LeBron deal went into effect. Am I correct? The Anderson Varejao deal.
It was around. It was
It was before LeBron came to the team.
Yeah, I think No, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
I think it was before.
Yeah.
They overpaid. First of all, basically they gave LeBron. I'm sorry. It's gonna sound bad.
Deal.
They gave LeBron basically like a one year to do it. And then go away, and look what this has turned into.
He can
this has turned into the down. This is like a waterfall, like just starting. We're just starting the water. It's just starting to trickle over the top.
Yeah,
just like last
makes you
night.
feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're not from there.
Exactly.
Yeah, yes. The mistake by the lake, and the mistakes last night against the Pistons or Pelicans. Pelicans winning last night, 115-99.
Pelicans on a roll.
Pelicans on a roll. It's weird to say that, but at the same token,
Fear the proud.
Pistons defensively just
Do you still have that, bro?
Oh yeah.
The Pistons looked defensively just lost last night, allowing the Pelicans pretty much score on the inside at will, and offensively,
Andre Drummond.
the hack strategy. They've had a statistic that he's left 208 points out there. Now, this is mind you, he was shooting 100% from the free throw line, but this is nothing new, guys. This is nothing new. Shaq was a terrible free throw shooter. Wilt Chamberlain was a terrible free throw shooter.
Yeah, but they were dominant. Andre Drummond's not
No,
dominant.
he's 22, and I mean, Freddie thinks he doesn't deserve a max deal. Jeff,
No,
do you think he deserves a max deal?
No.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, for me, no.
I mean, I would not lose Andre Drummond at all. I mean, I think this team is going to be fun to watch in the next couple of years, to tell you the truth. So, yeah, I think that'd be awful if you lost Andre Drummond. I will say this, the whole, like, hack-a-Dre stuff, I'm still sick and tired of hearing people saying, you got to change the rules because it's boring to watch. Dude, shooting free throws is part of the game.
Exactly.
It's a fundamental skill, and if you can't do it, then, people are going to exploit that. So I hate the idea of taking away another team's way to win. Now, I understand that they beat Houston, but I found it entertaining. I did. I was at the Wings game. I didn't see all that much of it, to tell you the truth. But I read about it, and, I mean, dude missed 23 free throws. I mean, and I love Andre Drummond. I think he's good. I think he's really good. I think he's a walking double-double, and I think he's only going to get better. And I remember how people questioned his motor when he was drafted here, and I think he's been a boost to this team.
They still question his motor, by the way.
But let's not let's just stop with the whole. You got to change the game
No,
because
That's
the guy.
such, that's such
that's
a
a
cop
one
out.
guy.
And
No, you can't. You're right. You're 100% right. You can't change the rules for one guy. You know, Andre Drummond though, he's a walking double-double. But can the Pistons win long term with him not being? See, when I look at Andre Drummond, I instantly think of Dennis Rodman and Ben Wallace posting guys up at the defensively. He can't do that. I don't think he ever will. Can they win long term with him just getting double doubles and not playing defense?
Well, in the NBA, talk about winning like a title. Could they win a title?
Well, eventually, if you're going to
I
sign,
mean, you're right. I would agree. I think this team could look different than it does now in years to come. But I just think when you draft a guy like that, and you're right, he's still developing. I think he could be a beast personally, but there's no way I would let him go. And sometimes you got to overpay for a guy, and I've been impressed with what he's been able to do. I mean, not to mention, you lose Andre Drummond, and it seems like the process of what Stan Van Gundy's done, trying to get this team back to the postseason and beyond, I mean, I think it's all stunted, to tell you the truth.
Well, I tell you what, one thing that the Pistons, I think that we're all overlooking when we talk about the Pistons, I mean, we can talk about, Mr. Zero all we want, I mean, not making his free throws. But the one thing that won the Pistons a title in 2004 is the guy's number who's going to the rafters in February 10th, and that's, number one. That's Chauncey Billups. Now, I know Freddie and I both agree that we don't think that his number should go to the rafters. That's a different argument, but he still was a leader and a floor general, which was obviously key for the Pistons, and that's one thing the Pistons do not have right now.
But who made him that leader? Larry Brown.
Well, Larry Brown was, but SVG is here. Stan Van Gundy is a great coach to train a floor general. I don't see Reggie Jackson being the floor general. I see Kentavious Caldwell-Pope putting a team on his shoulders, and he's possibly the only one I can see in the future to wear the captaincy on the Pistons if there's going to be anybody to do that. But that's the key for me right now when I watch the Pistons, why they're so up and down. Even though they're, 3 or 4 games over 500, there is no floor general, there is no leader, aside from SVG screaming from the sidelines, but you need somebody on the floor there to run the team. There is nobody, and they're not going to win a title until they get that person.
This team still needs a 4. How long have they been looking for a 4?
Oh.
They need a 4, really.
Ursan's all right. Ursan's doing a good job. I think Ursan can sink the ball pretty well.
He's a number 6 guy. He's not.
He was a lottery pick. Isn't that hard to believe?
Yeah.
Why did Milwaukee give up on him? I mean, you gotta wonder why teams give up on guys.
Would you rather have Greg Monroe or Ursan? I'd rather.
Well, that's funny you bring up Greg Monroe. How about Stephen A. Smith tweeting the other day that Stan Van Gundy gave up the wrong guy? Should have been Monroe here.
Yeah, but how much money was it going to cost you to keep Monroe here?
That's the other
problem.
What did he sign for Milwaukee? Like $80 million?
You got the Reggie Jackson deal.
I tell you what, I love Van Gundy, I do, because I like his pressers, but my goodness gracious, after every loss, he's so dramatic. And I know Brandon Jennings said the other day, he's like, oh, we don't have a leader. I get it, that's cool, whatever. Right. I mean, trust me, as a reporter, when I hear something like that, I eat it up. And, you like to ask the follow-up questions. But, I mean, Van Gundy, I love the fact that he rips his team, I do. It's kind of like Izzo-like almost, but Izzo doesn't do it as much. But I think that, I think he does it more for a fact than anything. Like I think Jim Leland was almost a master of this, to tell you the truth. Like, I can't tell you how many stories might have been covered up because on a day where things were not good, Leland call you into his office and he'd give you a little tidbit, or he'd blow up, or he'd throw something at somebody, or he never did that, or he'd kick somebody out of his office. And then everybody went up and they wrote about what he said rather than going to talk to the players. I think Van Gundy does a little bit of that too. I mean, he thinks if I'm hard enough, then that will be enough. But I think after a while, it's great. Don't get me wrong; it's great TV, it's great theater. I think after a while, though, it just kind of grows tired a little bit. But
he asked that question earlier today.
This team is okay. They're in the playoffs currently. I don't think anybody thought they were going to be the 2004 version of the Pistons surprised everybody. So, I think where they need to be, they're kind of there.
Stan Van Gundy needs to start eating a salad.
Minus that team general.
At the pressers, because I loved it when Leland used to eat the salad. He knew damn well what he was doing. Everyone focused on their salad and no one cared about the team. It was, in my opinion, it was a genius.
No, it was genius. I mean, that's the one thing Austin doesn't do all that much. Like Leland would give you inside information, right? And then you could do whatever you want with it. It just you can't say that it came from him.
Yeah.
But I mean, so I like it when coaches does that. Get you off the record